Hello everyone, and welcome to the Astro's Playroom 80% visual speedrun guide for the Cooling Springs. This is by far the easiest of the 4 main worlds that you will have to complete. I like to save this one for last since it is a bit of a break from the past 3 worlds that you have completed, as well as there's not as many places to die and lose your entire run on. There is not as many speedrunning tricks or strategies that you will be using in this world, but as always I will show you the most optimized way of handling each part. And with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started. The first stage of this world is Bot Beach. As soon as you spawn into this world, there is a huge slide in front of you. Just slide down it normally, and before you reach the end, make sure that you are holding the square button so you can charge a spin attack. The reason for this is that if you do a spin attack just before you land in the water, Astro will not sink as deep and you will be able to get up and start swimming a little faster. This saves you about 1 second, but it is an easy second to take, so you should definitely do this. After that, you will just run forward and run to the right side of this wooden box that this electric enemy is on top of. Just keep running forward and this enemy will not be able to hurt you. You will encounter the sandstorm. Again, just keep running straight, there's nothing new or fancy here. And once you reach the end, there will be a big door with wires on it. Just pull the wires and perform a wire cancel. After that, just jump straight across these LILYPADs directly to the hopping suit. And that's it. That is all you have to do for the first stage. You will now be at the second stage of this world, which is Springy Spa. With the frog suit, you will need to hold down either of the trigger buttons in order to do a charged jump. I recommend just holding one of the trigger buttons down and using it the entire time. If you try to alternate between the trigger buttons, you may start holding down the opposite trigger before you fully release the other one, which will make the game think that you have not completely released the trigger yet and it will keep the frog on the ground. It is also important to know that as soon as you release a jump, immediately start holding the trigger again to start charging your next jump. So for the very beginning here, you will need to do 2 full charged jumps and 1 small jump. I recommend doing a charged jump while you're going up this elevator, because if you do a small jump you will not get as much distance. Do 2 charged jumps and then do a small jump to land on this little platform. After that, you will be using charge jumps all the way throughout this section in order to stay consistent and to stay in the same spot. After that, you will come up to this lily pad that will bring you up into the air. So you will do 1 charge jump and 1 small jump. Again, it is recommended that you do the charge jump first in order to save a little bit of time. After that, just continue doing charge jumps until you reach the end of the stage here, and you will see these moving platforms. These platforms will not start moving until you cross this point in the stage. So as soon as you get in this room, just do 2 charge jumps and land on this bottom platform. When it starts moving up, wait for it to go about a quarter of the way up and then you can land on this next platform coming up. Just immediately keep doing charge jumps as you land on these platforms and you will make it to the end. If you make a mistake and get out of sync with these platforms, do not panic, you have plenty of time to make this last jump. This final platform here, you can wait for it to go about halfway down. So as you are getting to it, just make a good judgment call and decide whether you need to go for the jump or not. If you decide not to go for the jump, then your next best option is to jump to the platform behind you, and just wait for it to come across so that way you can land on this button, activating the final platform that you will need to land on to end the stage. Once you do, you will come out of this slide into this room in front of you. The best and most optimal way to handle this is you can do a hover just before you hit the ground and you will keep your momentum as you go into the room. If you do, you will need to quickly do a spin afterwards to hurry up and cancel the hover so that way you can continue walking forward. This is an extremely difficult strategy to pull off because it requires a near frame perfect input. If you can pull this off, it will save you about 2 seconds at most if you hit everything perfect. Next, you will want to jump up here, kill this enemy, and pull these wires and perform a wire cancel. As soon as you do, go down this chute which will lead you into the third stage of this world, which is called Frigid Flows. This is a fairly straightforward stage, but there are a couple of things that you need to know. First of all, as soon as you come out of this chute, make sure to jump with Astro just before you land in the snow. This will keep your momentum in the air for a moment and allow you to save a little bit more time. As soon as that is over, you will notice that you do not have your max speed with Astro anymore, even if you kept it in the last stage. Just run in a fairly straight path and you will get it back very soon. So as you are moving forward, it is important to try to stay as close to the left side as you can without actually making any harsh movements. This will save you a little bit of time for the next upcoming jump. After you get past all these enemies, you will notice this ice slide. The most optimal way to handle this is to jump off near this back left corner. When you do, you should be able to land on this second frozen platform. If you cannot do it and you decide to land on the first one instead, that is fine, you will only lose about 1 second. After that, just keep staying on this left side and keep making straight jumps up here and go over this enemy. Stay on the ice as much as you possibly can because you move faster on the ice than you do when you are on the ground. So I usually jump across these 2 platforms and grab this puzzle piece, and if you do a spin and a hover, then you will keep that momentum for a little bit longer before you hit the ground. Next, jump up to where this platform is that has the fan that wants you to blow into the microphone. Again, make sure that microphone is muted so that way it automatically does it for you. While you are on this platform, make sure that you keep running around so that way you do not lose your momentum. Hit this enemy that jumps out of the river, wait for a brief moment, and then jump to the next platform. Once you land on this platform, after a bit of time, 2 enemies will jump out. You only have to destroy one of them, and then you're good to jump to this next section. Stay to the left because it is the more optimal route and will also save you a little bit more time. Pull the last wire and hop into the frog suit for one last time to enter the final stage, which is Hotel Hop-A-Lot. At the beginning of this stage, you will need to do 1 small jump and 1 charge jump to optimally land on this button. After that, go ahead and have another charge jump ready and jump right out of these gates as soon as you have enough room. You will need to hesitate for just a moment or else you will bump right into these doors. After that, land on this lily pad and try to land as far to the right side of it as you possibly can. The reason for this is that you will be able to jump off of it sooner whenever you get to the end. Once you are on the lily pad and it starts moving across, just keep jumping over these little platforms. It's up to you how you want to do it. I usually use charge jumps just because I feel it's a little easier for me. Once you have jumped over the first 3 gates, just wait and go under the last one. You will see 6 coins in front of you. As soon as you pick up this first one, go ahead and release your charge jump and continue jumping into this glass. Make sure that you are tilting the controller to the right the entire time you are jumping into this glass. You should do 3 full jumps and make it out. It is also very important before you make this last jump that you wait for just a moment so that way the hopping suit completely lands on the glass block right below you. If you release your jump too early, then even though you get the next jump, sometimes the frog suit will bump into this wall and fall right back down. So just give it enough time to completely land on that glass block and you will be fine. After that, just continue doing charge jumps that go up this conveyor belt. Next, you will land on this button that will spawn a platform that shoots a lily pad into the air. It is also important to note that the chandelier will not start moving until you land on this button. So it's very important that you get to this button as quickly as you can. If you make some mistakes after you hit this button, don't panic. Just get on top of this lily pad and catch the chandelier in its first swing cycle. For every swing cycle that you miss on the chandelier is the loss of about 7 seconds. When you land on the chandelier, make sure that you land on the left edge of it. We will use this as a visual cue of when to jump at an optimal timing and be able to get through the next part as quickly as possible. Next, you will be swinging across and picking up these coins. As soon as you grab the last coin, go ahead and release your charge jump and continue tilting the controller to the left and doing charge jumps the entire time. When you use this placement and timing of jumping off the chandelier, you do not have to worry about running into these spikes and having them kill you. Next, you will fall down this chute and land on this button that starts rotating this platform. Just be patient and keep jumping onto the safe area so that way you do not slip off and have to restart at your last checkpoint. When it has rotated about halfway through, go ahead and jump to this final platform where the last button is that you will need to hit. It will spawn a lily pad that you will need to jump on. If you do not quite make it to this button, it is okay, just do a small jump and then jump to the lily pad. When you are going up these last few lily pads, make sure that you wait for the lily pads to completely stop before you jump off of them. If you jump too early, you will get a lot of air with the hopping suit. This is not optimal because the frog suit will stay in the air for a while, which will cost you even more time. So once you jump up these final few lily pads, you will have one last lily pad that will bring you to the top. If you jump a little early, you can end the stage even a little faster. I like to wait until I go past the middle of these 3 levers that are near the top. Once I go past it, I will release the charge jump, which will end the stage just slightly earlier. After that, just run up to this last blue wire, pull it, and claim your final console. As with the previous world, you will need to teleport back to your second stage, and then go to the CPU plaza. Once you do, a cutscene will play that will open up the path to the final boss of the game. Have your quick menu open and ready, and then you will teleport to any random stage. Make sure you do it whenever the screen fades to black before it shows the cube, or else you will end it too early and will not skip the cutscene. Whenever you do that, as soon as you get in the world, just open up your map and teleport directly back to the CPU plaza. If you timed it correctly, when you return to the plaza, everything will be darker. When you do get back, there will be one small message that you need to click through. That is where this video will end and where the final video of the any % speedrun guide will begin. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you next time with the last video, and we will take on the final boss, and I will show you all the tricks on how to defeat it as quickly as possible. So with that, take care, stay safe, and I will see you next time. Bye.